they said you wouldn't make it so far. And ever since they said it, it's been hard. But never mind the night you had to cry, 'cause you had never let it go inside. You work too hard and you know exactly what you want and need. So believe, and you can never give up. You can reach your goals. Just talk to your soul and say, I can, I believe, I will. I know my dreams are real.
All right, thank you. Please remain standing while we invite God's presence. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for another day. We want to thank you for your journey mercies throughout the day and afforded us the opportunity to be here this evening. We want to thank you for the graduates. We want to thank you for the facilitator, the support team, and all those who were involved in ensuring that this process be a success. I want to thank you for all that you're about to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem. You may be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this momentous occasion, the graduation of 10 budding entrepreneurs that persevered through the Building Bankable Business training. Please put your hand together for these entrepreneurs. Minister within the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, Honorable Samuel Duggins. Permanent Secretary within the Ministry, Ms. Delwine Taylor. Former MP, Mr. Eugene Hamilton. Managing Director, Terence Quasman, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. Mr. David Lake, Group Commercial Head, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, and his team. Ms. Leah Craig-Chatterton, Director within the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Mr. Philip Brown, former Director within the same ministry. Mr. Alex Strawn, Facilitator, graduates and well-wishers of the graduates, colleagues within the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, partners, Flow, National Bank, Digicel. And if you look to the back, we have strategically placed National Bank between Flow and Digicel because we don't want any mishaps this evening. All right? So we'll go right ahead into our program and we'll invite the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Delwine Taylor, to bring some remarks. Please welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you here this evening for the graduation ceremony of the first cohort of our Building Bankable Businesses Financial Literacy Program. I would like to extend, I know Delwayne, Mr. Delaney did an exceptional job with the protocol, but I would like to adopt the protocol, save and accept to recognize our Minister, Honorable Samuel Duggins. Our valued partners from the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, Managing Director, Mr. Terence Crosman, and Mr. David Lake, Group Commercial Head, and your team, our fabulous facilitator, Mr. Alex Strawn, our graduates, and all other distinguished guests, welcome. Today marks a proud milestone for our ministry. The Building Bankable Business Program represents our unwavering commitment to empowering small businesses and strengthening the MSME sector across the Federation. This initiative was created with a clear purpose: to help entrepreneurs understand their finances, maintain proper records, and position themselves to access funding with confidence and credibility. The program was born out of a simple but powerful vision: to close the gap between entrepreneurial passion and financial preparedness. Too often, our business owners have the idea and the determination, but not the technical know-how to present a bankable case. Through this program, we sought to bridge the gap and lay a stronger foundation for business success. We are deeply grateful to the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank for being a key partner on this journey. That deserves a round of applause. Their support have gone far beyond financial assistance. It reflects true belief in our entrepreneurs and in the transformative power of this sector. This partnership connects training to tangible opportunity, creating a pathway from learning to lending, and ensuring that the knowledge gained here translates into real access to tools and financing needed for growth. I must also take a moment to commend our facilitator, Mr. Alex Strawn, for his outstanding leadership and commitment throughout this process. His practical approach and passion for empowering entrepreneurs have been instrumental in guiding participants to apply financial knowledge in ways that make a measurable difference in their businesses. To the graduates, congratulations. You are the trailblazers of this program. We are extremely proud of your progress and your perseverance. I encourage you to put your knowledge into action. Again, I want to repeat, I encourage you to put your knowledge into action. Continue strengthening your business operation and take full advantage of the opportunities available through the National Bank's Banking on Small Business initiative. Remember, the ministry will continue to work alongside with you through our monitoring and evaluation component to ensure that the growth continues long after this ceremony. As we look ahead, I am pleased to announce that the registration for the next cohort will open in the upcoming weeks, ahead of our February start date. We look forward to welcoming more opportunities. Tell a friend, tell another business, tell a family, tell someone you pass about on the street about the success and the opportunities available through this program. Once again, I want to say congratulations and thank you to our facilitator. I would also like to pause to recognize my hardworking team. We have a program team that is led by Miss Leah Crack-Chatterton. We have our assistant program manager, Miss Kyla Gibson-Dorr. We have our M&E officers, Miss Brianna Maynard, and we have Robin Warner and Alicia Fleming. They have been working tirelessly behind the scene, not just for this program, but to advance the development of the MSME sector, and they must be recognized and applauded for this. Together, we are building a stronger, more resilient small business community, one that will one that will continue to empower the growth of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you.
Thank you, P.S. Taylor, for sharing those words of commendation and giving an overview as to the program and for reassuring our graduates that we are here to stay as the support system for you moving forward. Now we'll call on Mr. David Lake, Group Commercial Head of the St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, to bring his remarks. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Protocol having been established and re-established, please allow me to adopt the same. Good evening, everyone. It is a true honor to stand before you today as we celebrate a remarkable milestone, the graduation of 10 inspiring young entrepreneurs from the Building Bankable Businesses Financial Literacy Program. On behalf of the St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, I extend heartfelt congratulations to each of you. You have taken a bold step today, in a meaningful step in your business development. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with bright prospects and prospects for growth. We are proud at National to reaffirm our commitment to supporting you as you put what you have learned into practice and scale your businesses for success. This partnership between the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship and National Bank aims to unlock real-world opportunity as we turn business knowledge into bankable reality. Building bankable businesses is part of a broader commitment to local entrepreneurs through programs like Banking on Small Business, which aims to make capital more accessible to micro, small, and medium enterprises. We are especially proud of our partnership with the ministry in merging financial education with financial opportunity. This collaboration reflects a shared vision, one that empowers individuals to build sustainable businesses and contribute meaningfully to our economy. Please permit me to take a moment to recognize the efforts of the Honorable Minister, the Permanent Secretary, the Program Facilitator, and the dedicated ministry staff whose vision and hard work made this program possible. Could I get a little round of applause for their efforts? I also wish to recognize the National Bank team, led by our Managing Director. He has put in untold man-hours personally in this program. His passion has really led and driven this program, and I wish to recognize that as a signal recognition. Please let us recognize his efforts. Supported by Anthony Morton, Floyd Charles, Jamal Collins, and Zaria Walters in the back. So that makes up our National Bank team who supported this program. The graduates, your journey today is a new beginning. We are excited to walk alongside you on this new journey. Congratulations, and here's to your continued success in your businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lake, for those remarks. And again, ensuring that the graduates can be reassured that moving forward, they have a support system, not only from a technical standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint as well. Now we will pause and we'll listen to Mr. Roy Phipps and company as they bring a musical selection. Please welcome them as they come. I just want to make an observation. I've never seen this in particular why never into it. You ever realize? No matter, I mean, we have seen him perform countless of times, and it's the same energy, same, vibes and so on. I think you only took one person to stand up and start dancing. But we didn't have any bold person in here tonight. But maybe next time. So put your hands together again for Y and Company. Now we'll hear from the facilitator, Mr. Alex John, finance extraordinaire and guru. So please put your hands together now and welcome the facilitator.
Greetings and salutation, friends, colleagues, well-wishers. Thank you for the opportunity. Permit me to adopt the protocol that has so ably been established. The task is given me this evening to provide a report. And technically it should be easy because I just have to say, this happened, that happened, that happened, and that happened. But it's always humbling to be able to stand before persons and to account for your stewardship. Over a period of a few months, the stewardship was given to me to be responsible. And a very challenging task, a frightening task, to be able to impress upon a group of young persons the how to become bankable. I mean, even something that even myself have over time had to reflect on and try to wrap my head around of what really is becoming bankable. And so my notes this evening, and I said notes because they tend to grow. Every time I look at them, I want to change them. I remember something else that happened in class and I want to add, and I remember an experience with one of my colleagues, and I can't call them students. And the reason why I can't refer to them as students is because as business people, when you sit down and start to discuss business with business people, we all learn from each other. We come across experiences that hitherto you may not have seen it from that particular angle. And this is the reason why I'm so humbled and feel honored to be given the opportunity where I don't consider myself just simply the facilitator, but to learn from and to appreciate the nuances of working with other businesses and to really get to a common ground where we are all better and bankable. And when I say bankable, I also mean investable, because it's really about the issue of accessing finance, accessibility to finance, becoming financially literate. And so fortunately, unfortunately, we had the privilege of having businesses at different stages. Concept, trying to get a concept off of paper and trying to understand, how do I make this business viable? Good ideas, all good ideas, but at different stages of growth. And so we now have to look at it, well, for a business of this magnitude, what would be the best financing objective? And in some of those cases, the issue is really an investment, because at this point in time, you need patient capital. So it's not just simply a credit base, you need partners, etc. to go. And so this is something where you have to take a step back and you're going to, okay, one size doesn't fit all. But as I said, the task is given to me not just speak in terms of those esoteric experiences, but to really walk you through what some of the things we would have dealt with. One of the key things we started off is establishing the foundation that behind each of these businesses is an individual or a group of individuals. And the culture and values of those individuals is going to translate to the culture and values that show up in the business. And so we started off with week one in addressing the issues, the concept of money, the concept of personal management of money. How do you appreciate that? What is your value system? What sort of discipline? And then how would that translate into your business? But not only that, the introduction to the banking system. You know, many of us here, we hear about banks, and we see the banks downtown, but we don't understand that even for the banks are also regulated. The banks are part of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and monetary system, which means the banks have obligations also in terms of reporting and making sure that they are good stewards with the money of the depositors that that they are entrusted with. And in that context, the bank can't just simply take up the funds and just give it to persons, because they have a responsibility to answer should any depositor show up and request the money that they had placed with them in good faith on demand. And so we look not just as the personal, but the banking system, the tools, the instruments used within the banking system. And as a result, how would a business all fit in? Then, to culminate week one, we looked at entrepreneurship. The difference between just being a business owner and an entrepreneur. The blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes we are fortunate or blessed enough to be handed something to manage. We are stewards, we are managing something. But as an entrepreneur, we are tasked with seeing problems and solving them. So even this context of why the building bankable business, it is, I want to say first and foremost, thank you to the ministry, the minister, and National Bank for recognizing here's a problem. This is entrepreneurship 101 demonstrated. Problem, how do we fix? And this is what embodies the concept of entrepreneurship. And that's how we culminated in terms of week one. What is the most fundamental and daunting things that tend to challenge businesses? If from their management to even approaching the bank, record keeping. So what should businesses record? We start off everything from your concepts to who you're working with. And we looked at the data, the knowledge hierarchy, as I call it. Data translates information, which then translates into the knowledge. Applied gives you wisdom. And it is so fundamental for businesses. People say they don't have times, etc. But if you do not know, or if what we tend to say, if it's not written down, it cannot be measured. And if it cannot be measured, it didn't happen. And so this is where we spent week two, not just from the issue of financial data management, but from the concept of your customer, knowing your business, your value proposition, the other aspects that make your business survive. Having policies and so on put into place. We also looked at the accounting cycle. The most fundamental thing in business is not so much the complexity of accounts, because that's just additions and subtractions, I tend to say. It is understanding your own transactions and how we then group those transactions in one of 5 categories. How do we make that simple so it doesn't sound like, oh my God, this is so difficult, this is so difficult. And so that was week 2. Week 3, we looked at the value proposition. Why does your business exist? A lot of times persons show up and they may ask, or they try to ask for finance, and they cannot articulate their value proposition. In other words, what it is you're trying to solve. Because if you could understand what you're trying to solve, what it is you want to offer, then you might recognize that the financing you're looking for could take a different shape. If you understand what I'm saying. And so week 3 was about understanding your value proposition. And we looked at from ideation, from empathizing with your client, knowing your audience, knowing who it is, what is the problem you're trying to solve. And we went through that ideation process of developing the business the business idea through the business model canvas. Why? Because if you could understand what it is you're after, sometimes persons want to build a house, and it's only after they get the estimate from the quantity surveyors they realize they can't afford it. They had good dreams. But when you have this now and you see the quantity surveyed results, you now start to adapt and say, okay, smaller house or more money. You see what I mean? And so we were able to take from ideation through the business model canvas, put it on a wall, that blueprint that you were able to identify your cost structure, and your revenue opportunities. And so this is why we broke it down, and these are the experiences we had. And then we came home now and saying, okay, so all of that now, how do you manage your money? How do you create your policies, etc.? And we looked at credit management, debt management, investment, and taxation. Because no matter what, you're living in a society that you had to interact with people. Week 6, we came down to the crunch time now, telling the story. So we have been doing all of this. We understand where numbers are coming from, how to tell forecasting, etc., etc. How to create the forecasting, etc. Now, how do you tell your story, your financial statements, what they are, why they had to look the way they looked, so that everybody who needs to read them could all interpret them the same way. Why have to put it so complex, etc.? Because you want, no matter who looks at it, that they are interpreting and understanding that an asset is an asset, a liability is a liability, this is income, this is expense, and this is what your stake in the business is. And how you tell that story. We also look then at what we called analysis. You might see it as just a simple statement, but how you then start to do, you compare this year to last year, you compare one period to a next, or you compare something at one part of the statement to another, and it says how you are growing, how can you survive against any pressures, etc. And these are what we looked at. We tried to make it practical to the very businesses that were in the class. And so telling the story and then saying, no, if you want to expand, what part of this you're going to adapt, change? How do you set aside, even as you're making some surpluses, investments, so that you could put aside what we call a sinking fund if you need to replace an item in your business, instead of just simply waiting until it mash up and then you go like, oh my God, why the importance of insurance? Not necessarily so that you could burn down the house and pay back, but to indemnify you. You understand what I'm saying? So these were the key, and this was the journey over, we took more than 6 weeks because it was necessary, depending on what was happening, for us to pause, let people do the thing and come back. But it was an enjoyable 6 weeks. And at the end of it, the businesses were tasked now, how do you bring this home? What is the legal structure? Is the legal structure the correct legal structure for what it is they're doing and what they need to go? And if you need to scale and bring in additional investors, do I need to change my legal structure? Or, from a partnership to an incorporated company so that you could sell shares? What systems? Each business had to identify what system they were going to employ to start to record their financials. So moving away from Excel, not that it was, something is better than nothing. So yes, this worked, etc. But as you know, scale what? And we identify things like New Cash, QuickBooks, Zoho Sheets, Zoho Cash, and that sort of stuff. But more importantly, what sort of policies? For persons that to take you serious, it has to be more than just, somebody come and they say, oh, this is what I do. Show me. Do you have it recorded? Do you have your rules? Are other persons, if you hire persons, able to follow these things? What are your policies? If you're going to give somebody credit, and how much credit do you give them? How much time should they pay you back? But also, you say, well, you have no control over it because that's a big business. So then put a cap on how much, what's your exposure to that business is. So, some business and government included, that you might do some work for, etc. And it might take you 30 days or a little longer to get your money. So what do? You say, well, dear government, dear business, dear whoever it is, I could only give you $5,000 credit. It's been like a while now, but I'm willing to do the other thing, but could you pay this first so that I could then top up and we go again? You see what I mean? And how do you negotiate these things rather than just sitting down thinking that it was passive? Because if you go with something objective, people respect you. It's not that you're picking sides or you're being rude or anything. You say, I'm willing to work with you, but I negotiate this with you. I could only give you X amount of credit for my size. And we work along those lines. And then we got into the financials and the projections. I'm proud of these 10 persons who have consistently, and this is where you see where we talk about discipline in business. who, no matter what, how long days, whatever it is, that they would show up virtually and physically at first, but virtually to facilitate our colleagues in Nevis, etc., online, and a class that should have been going for 90 minutes at most, sometimes go to 2 to almost 3 hours. Not because it was difficult handling it, but the involvement, the participations of the person in the class, with sometimes some very contentious topics. And I really have to say thank you for your honesty and participation in the class, in willing to speak up, act up, etc. And critically, for sharing and allowing me to learn from you as you have learned from me. As a facilitator, as a teacher, the one thing you want to do, how you get fulfillment, is seeing your students, your colleagues succeed. And I am very proud to have been associated with this class and see persons move from being shy to being able to understand what they will do in their business, to coming up on the fly in terms of the discussion. We collectively created a business online based on observations, and different persons were able to contribute and say, okay, these are the services, this is how we'll price them, etc. Just based on an observation, a very amusing, but very profound, that persons were able to apply right there and contribute. And this was just spontaneous. It wasn't literally planned, but it was say, okay, so let's bring it home. Let's do this. What about this business? Okay, what business we're going to create? Okay, going across the road. I leave that. So I want to say thank you. No, and I want to say congratulations, team. No, this is the journey. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to move fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you walk with others. And for just the ability for us to come together and network, this is something that I think we want to continue, even beyond the class, because we recognize how we can draw from each other's strength. And so the proposals are on the table, if you take it, for us to have monthly board meetings, because we also do know that this 6 weeks, 8 weeks it was just the start, that there were going to be aftercare, we have one-on-one sessions, etc., but that this is a work in progress, and that we will continue to learn from each other, and the more we come together, share, we can build up each other, just as we are building bankable business. The course was just a cornerstone, setting the foundation, and I want to just say again, thank you and congratulations, and I look forward to continue working with you. And thank you for the National Bank, the ministry, Minister Douglas, for you and your team, your foresight, and to recognize and to embrace that spirit of entrepreneurship. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Juan. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Strachan, for that in-depth overview. Persons who didn't get their certificate here, you can come to the office. Persons like myself, I feel like I went through the course just now. All right, we'll have a response now by Mrs. Elizabeth Lloyd from La Vita de Gelato.
Good evening, everyone. And truly what you just heard from Alex was pretty much the class in a nutshell. So anyhow, allow me to adopt all the protocols that have already been established. In July, my colleagues and I received an email stating that we were being considered to participate in the first cohort of the Building Bankable Business Program. That's a tongue twister right there, let me just say. For most of us, the message brought a mix of excitement, exhilaration, anxiety, and let's be honest, a little overwhelm. Let me explain. As a small business, most of us are the chef, the chief, the cook, and the bottle washer. We do it all. We are the last to go to bed at night and the first to rise in the morning. We spend every thinking moment thinking about how to build our business. There are no weekends. There are no holidays. There are no vacations, just the ongoing pursuit of growth and happiness. When we learned about this program, we realized that it was exactly what we needed. Many of us came with one clear goal: finding the capital for growth. The program was designed to help us strengthen our financial confidence, improve our money management habits, and develop the skills to access financial opportunities. Many of us often felt held back because we weren't bank ready. Well, this workshop helped to change that. We were excited about the possibilities and exhilarated about finally making our dreams a reality. Then came the anxiety because we were finally making our dreams a reality. And soon the overwhelm. Because balancing our business with 6 hours of class a week, and that's pretty much what it was, a minimum, 6 hours of class a week, plus preparation, that was no small feat. But that's what we do for our business. The time we invest was a commitment to ourselves. For this group, hard work is no stranger. That's what we do. The program pushed us to discuss uncomfortable but necessary topics. It made us think deeply about areas we had long avoided. For many of us, it was a turning point. As we began to truly understand our strength and worth as businesses and business owners, we gained more confidence. And playing the field between us and the financial institutions started to feel a little bit more even. To the Ministry of Small Business, thank you for staying the course with us. I'm sure at times it felt like it was just a little overwhelming. But thank you for selecting us, for calling us and reminding us about orientation, for updating the BBB portal, for scheduling the rooms, for coordinating our online meetings, for keeping us on track. Thank you, everyone, to everyone behind the scenes who helped to make this day possible. We say a heartfelt thank you. Miss Leah, Craig, Chatterton, where are you? Oh, there you go. Thank you for staying the course with us. I'm sure at times it felt like you were herding kittens. We were and are still a very dynamic bunch, but we're a good bunch. I think I can safely say the future cohorts won't be like us. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for keeping us grounded and for always guiding us with grace. Thank you. Mr. Alex Strawn, what can I say? We made it. We did. It wasn't easy, but we persevered. Alex, you have the uncanny ability to take complex and sometimes uncomfortable topics and make them understandable. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Okay, no tears. That's just a little too much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and your passion. Thank you for always keeping it real. When we are over and we're not on camera, we can talk about that business we all put together. He didn't want to bring that up like that. Thank you for the scripture quotes that took us to church every day in class. Honestly, I think you missed your calling. And thank you for reining us in when you saw us starting to go down that rabbit hole. Your belief in our potential inspires us to believe in ourselves. To my fellow cohort members, we made it, thank God. Whew. It wasn't easy, but we persevered. Though life may have thrown us curveballs, we stayed and we were committed. It's the spirit of resilience that defines small business owners. I truly appreciate our time together. I really do. Not only in the class, but the many live and entertaining conversations we had before and during class. It is rare to find a group of like-minded individuals who truly understand that we are on the same journey. I don't see this as an end. I really don't. It is the continuation of a bond we share, the bond of growing our business. We now have the tools to make our businesses more bankable. We've learned that our business plan isn't just a document. It is a living, evolving story of our enterprise. It is the narrative of our worth and potential. The program made us more financially confident and better equipped to make sound decisions. I'm not sure what the matrix is to measure the success of the program, but from where I stand, this program was a success. Truly it was. But as we all know, this doesn't stop here. Let's continue the dialogue. Let's continue to learn from and with each other. Let's continue to grow. Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Lloyd, and I own a small business in Bastyr. It's called La Vita del Gelato. I joined the Building Bankable business course, Cohort, and it was an amazing process. I didn't really have any expectations going in. All I knew is that this is where my business was and I needed to get it to the next level. And unfortunately, I didn't have the tools to help it grow in a way that I needed to expand the business. It was a great experience for me. We met 3 days a week for about 2 hours every night where we talked about the different components needed to build a proper business plan. Not only that, but build a proper financial plan. I think if I implement the tools that were given to us during the weeks in this cohort, it hopefully make me more competitive if I choose to go to a financial institution.
Hi, I'm Mickey and Brown, co-owner of Breathe Easy, an indoor air quality and mold testing company. I learned several different techniques and also ways how to position our business a little bit better in the market. And most important for me, the accounting practices, which I think we were deficient in. The accounting practices, yes, we have integrated it into our company now, which helps us more predict the patterns and see where our money is going and how to best use it. So that is what the best thing what happened to me with the program. We also talked about positioning our business and ways that I actually saw that we could increase our offerings and services and increase cash flow.
My name is Alex Strawn. I'm currently the Managing Director for Genesis Innovation Management. Most persons would know it in the market as Jad Cash. I have about over 20-something years in the financial industry, including 23 of those in central banking. And I've been, over the last 6-7 years, been working in the fintech market itself as an entrepreneur. Now, that has given me some insights, not just in terms of managing your finance and or surviving as a business, and but that has enabled me to work with the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, especially in the areas of small business development, in trying to make businesses, small to medium businesses, bankable. For me, bankable is that foundation where you have the tools to be able to access finance. You have the tools to know how your business is working. But even go back before that, you really understand your value proposition, the difference you make to the market, and how to tell that story. To me, this step was a giant step, and we can even do this as for future rounds in terms of helping business, drilling home to the very issues that would make them be investable and bankable.
Thank you, Mrs. Lloyd, for the graduate response. And we want to put our hands together as well for the testimonial video, which was well done by our team. Now we'll have some remarks by the Honorable Samuel Duggins, who'll bring some remarks. Okay.
Thank you, Master Ceremonies. And with a protocol that was established, I wish to stand on that protocol and tell you how proud I am today. Very, very proud. I just looked at that video and I heard the report and the response, and I must say, my heart is full. Congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. But tonight is not just a proud moment for me, of course. It's also not just a proud moment for you, but it's a proud moment for all of us who believed in your potential, all who invested in your growth, and for all who worked to make a night like this possible. Bring all of this to reality. We are not just celebrating certificates tonight. Tonight we're celebrating people who made a bold decision to invest in themselves, to invest in their business, and to invest, most of all, in their future. The first ever graduates of the Building Bankable Business Financial Literacy Program. Congratulations. You've made history. You are the pioneers of a movement that will transform how small businesses work and how small business is done in this federation. You are the first. Look at that. When this program began, the goal was simple: to strengthen what already exists. We know our entrepreneurs are already working hard, running the operation, serving customers, pushing through a myriad of challenges. But effort alone isn't enough. To grow, you must understand numbers, how to manage money, keep records, plan strategically. That's what Building Bankable Businesses was designed to do. Give the tools and the confidence to move from surviving into thriving. This initiative is special. And why I say special is because it was built on partnership. And with that, I would like to give sincere thanks to our partners, St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, not just for sponsoring, but I want to thank you for believing. Together, we built a model that works. Education first, opportunity next. Through this partnership, you now have access to the bank's banking on small business loans with relaxed criteria, because you've earned it. And I believe from all the testimonials, the bank will have an easy time granting that. You've invested in your knowledge, and now that knowledge gives you access. That is what real empowerment looks like. This program is part of a broader national vision to create strong, innovative, and sustainable small business systems. From our ministry's end, we've had the Revive to Thrive, we've had the Small Business Awards, we've had our entrepreneurs represented us at regional and international trade fairs. But together, every initiative shares one common and one singular goal: to make small businesses stronger. Because we believe that when small businesses grow, the nation grows. And that is a conversation I've had far and wide. Once you strengthen small businesses, you strengthen the federation. So to the graduates, I want you to remember, financial literacy is not a one-time lesson. It's a lifestyle. Keep your books clean, know your numbers, plan with purpose, and never, ever stop learning. You have already proven your discipline, your creativity, and your determination. Now take what you've learned and turn that into growth. Turn it into success, and I wish for all of you to turn that into a legacy. To our partners, our ministry team, and our facilitator, Mr. Strawn, thank you for turning this vision into a most beautiful reality. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And to our graduates, again, this here is just the beginning. You are the foundation of a movement that we expect to inspire hundreds more. So once again, may your business grow stronger, may your confidence go deeper, and may your future grow brighter. And may your success remind every aspiring entrepreneur that financial literacy is actually the key to financial freedom. And I look forward to granting you your certificate tonight, but I most of all look forward to seeing your business growth in the future.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for those remarks in ensuring or reaffirming to the small businesses about ensuring that their future is bright once they continue to put into practice what they have learned. We have reached that part now in the program with the presentation of certificates. And I'll invite the minister once again, if you could come forward along with the permanent secretary as we present our graduates with their certificates. And also the managing director, Mr. Terence Kwasma. So our first awardee, who indicated that there was that she had a family emergency, but we nonetheless recognize her and put our hands together for Miss Anastasia Elliott of Sugartown Organics. And yet, their persons are highlighted in the back for persons to see. Also not able to make it, Miss Kamisha Morton of Nature's Best, and she's a participant from Nevis. Please put your hands together. There she is. Now we invite Mrs. Elizabeth Lloyd. Miss, okay, I got that information wrong. So Miss Elizabeth Lloyd of La Vita de Gelato. Our next graduate, Joelyn Myers of So Essentials, not present as well. And so we put our hands together for her. She indicated that she had a medical emergency as well. We now invite Malik Maynard of Malik's Car Rental. Next we have Marcia Rollins of Food Science. All right, next we have Mickey and Brown of Breathe Easy. We have Nama of Imawa Designs. And Steph Richards of Project Reveal, but he's not here with us today. So put your hands together nonetheless. So, JC Summersall of Fortech Services. Now we'll wish to recognize 3 special awardees. And first one is the Progressive Entrepreneur Award. This award celebrates transformation, determination, and forward momentum. It recognizes the participant who demonstrated remarkable growth throughout the Building Bankable Business program, embracing new ideas, applying feedback, and showing clear progress in both mindset and business development. The progressive entrepreneur embodies what it means to keep moving, keep evolving, always moving forward, always improving. And we'll invite Flo, the sponsor of this award, to join the presentation team, and that award goes to Mr. Mickey and Brown. The Financial Literacy Champion. This award recognizes the participant who excelled in understanding and applying financial literacy principles, from budgeting to record keeping to financial planning and cash flow management. This individual displayed exceptional financial discipline and insight. The Financial Literacy Champion exemplifies readiness to build and sustain a financial sound business. And this award is sponsored by the ministry and goes to Ms. Jolene Myers. She is not here with us as mentioned previously, but nonetheless. The BBB Mastery Award. The BBB Mastery Award represents the pinnacle of achievement in the program. It honors the participant who consistently perform at an exceptional level, demonstrating strong leadership, professionalism, and command of concepts taught. This individual not only excelled in class but also embodied the true spirit of the BBB initiative, mastering tools, mindset, and discipline needed to build a truly bankable business. And we invite, did you sell? Okay, yeah. And this award goes to Miss Elizabeth Lloyd. All right, one final presentation, and we will now invite the facilitator, Mr. Alex John. If you can make your way to the front. I don't have a write-up, but I think Miss Lloyd spoke very highly of what took place in the class over the last 6 to 8 weeks. So please put your hands together for Mr. Alex John. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, my duty now to give the vote of thanks as we have reached the end of our program. I want to thank the Permanent Secretary for opening remarks, and as well as Mr. David Lake, Group Commercial Lead within the St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, for his remarks as well. Roy Phipps and his team for rendering that musical selection. The project overview was ably done by Mr. Alex John, and the response by Miss Elizabeth Lloyd. To the Minister for his timely remarks and ensuring that the participants have the full commitment of the ministry moving forward, as well as the bank. The presentation of awardees, want to thank Flo and Digicel as well, and please visit their booths after to hear what exciting news they have for small businesses. And I want to make a plug for GW, Global Entrepreneurship Week. A big celebration comes off next month, middle of next month, 17th to the 23rd, or thereabout? 15th, 16th to the 21st. You'll hear lots more about our plans. We have already put out the auction. A lot of persons are gravitating to that. You'll hear more about our AI Summit. And I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but trust me, Global Entrepreneurship Week is a week you don't want to miss. As well as there's the Canva training earlier in early parts of the week, and also our auction is actually a 3 parts. We have also our awards ceremony as well. So look out and stick and stay as we continue to promote small businesses. All right, so now we'll invite the participants and the graduates, our sponsors, and the well-wishers support team, if you can make your way to the front so we can have a group photo and, of course, minks and mingle at the end. So thank you. I'm Delwyn Delaney. It was a pleasure, and do enjoy the remainder of your evening. Thank you.